Hi everybody! I'm doing a 30-minute session for Lush today. Today we are going to be visiting Paa Taal. That's how I pronounce it. I don't know who this is, but we're going to find out. So it's P-A-A space T-A-A-L. Paa Taal. I cannot wait to see what we discover. Last week we did the founders. You guys need to check that out if you haven't seen that video yet. It was phenomenal. I'll put a link in the description. So let's you say, for our next session, can we do a healing style session with Paa Taal? All right, I'm gonna relax here. All right, here we go. Paa Taal, who are you? What are you? Lush is ready for some healing. All right, I'm on my way to Paa Taal now. I feel peaceful, like a super loud, and then the loud goes like it sucks into something and becomes this ultra profound hush. And I feel comforted by it. A calm silence. I'm standing in a great darkness. And the darkness is not there to create fear. It's not there to hide anything. It's just simply there as a comfort, as just an aspect of itself. And there's something of a pale white light that's very small. And I want to say that I'm in a vast space, but could you imagine if a space was made out of many layers of itself? Let's say we're looking at like a mountain. And let's say the energy side of this mountain is made up of a mountain within a mountain within a mountain within a mountain for all eternity. The echo of itself exists for all eternity. And in the echo, upon the echo, upon the echo of itself, it builds the framework of itself. So it's built upon the many fabrics of its own infinite echo. And so I'm in this space and I experience the many infinite layers of itself. And it's built upon these layers and the vast darkness, okay? But the hushed, comforting silence. And this pale white light is just a little sphere of energy right in front of me. But I'm sort of having a hard time zeroing in on this because I'm just really looking around in this place and taking it all in. And it's hard for me to pay attention to this small sphere of light. I feel more captivated by, I guess, the many layers of the dark that are here. So I've got to really work on, I have a feeling it's because so much of myself has become a part of so many layers that I have to pull so much of myself back so that I can just focus on one thing now and understand what this is. And what does this have to do with Paa Taal? All right, this light has been communicating with me this whole time. And I've been fully aware and in communication with this light as well. And this light represents, okay, so let's talk about human consciousness and our ability to multitask. So if we've got our hand in 5 different cookie jars versus our hand in just one, right? If we multitask, now we have 5 cookies. If we just do one thing at a time, we just have 1 cookie. So if we multitask, we get more out of life than if we just do one thing at a time. But Paa Taal is saying no to that. My guys are giggling. They're like, is Paa Taal saying no to that, or is Abbey saying no to that? I'm like, maybe I need to listen. I swear to God. Okay, let me just pay attention here. Let me really explore this. I do understand it, okay. But now I'm feeling conflicted between where my presence and where the presence and consciousness of Paa Taal exist. And am I one with Paa Taal? Of course I am. Paa Taal is also one with me. So the experience of separation creates what now is a question mark. Is it me, or is it something more than myself, or something other than myself? Or was it always me all along? This is also part of the message, Lush, okay? So when I go back to looking at the cookie jars, in our reality, we can duplicate things. We can duplicate chocolate chip cookies all day long. And we get the experience of having every chocolate chip cookie we get our hands on, right? And this is interesting because if we were to take 5 chocolate chip cookies and merge them all into one chocolate chip cookie, we only had one to begin with. We only experienced the illusion of having 5. But then you could simply say there was no cookie. So what did we have anyway? What did we ever actually have? And the human that tries to become 5 parts of itself in order to accomplish 5 different things first works with a whole version of itself to only participate in one experience at a time. And where does the energy go, and how does the energy balance itself, and what is the overall goal, or what is the overall achievement, and what was it anyway? What was it anyway? And I feel like this is the difference between heart versus something more superficial. I want 5 cookies. I'm going to put my hand in 5 cookie jars and get what I want. I know the love and the vastness of this one extraordinary cookie moment, and I'm just going to relish in this for as long as I can. It's like having the giant bowl of ice cream with the little tiny spoon and letting this last as long as possible. So there's something about this. However, it goes back to the equation of what was it anyway? And what is the heart of what are the actions and the decisions that we're making? What is in the heart of it? Was it the cookie we wanted? Was it really the cookie? Was it the ability to do 5 things at one time and to have that bold knowing that I can multitask? Was it the joy of just exploring one thing that was this marvel that I wanted to put all my time and energy into exploring just that one thing? And what was it all about anyway? I know it's... So again, it comes back to the heart. This is the best I can define this as of yet. Okay, so where's Paa Taal in all of this? Where am I in all of this? What is this white pale light? Okay, and what is these layers, these echoes that create this? What is like a mountain structure? I feel like I'm inside of a mountain with the big hush. I'm going to bring you in, Lush. You're going to be here now. And I'm going to be an observer watching you and see what you want to say to Paa Taal and Paa Taal to you. And now it's like you're talking to yourself. This is so complicated. Very complicated. You're creating something. I'm really stuck in stillness right now. And I can't override it because I'm watching you from afar, and it's really hard to become animated in this space. It's really hard to be even like the announcer of what I see, because I'm so energetically just almost shut down, just watching. But I can't describe what I see. That's what's hard here. And they're talking again about heart. My heart is being impacted by this. And not in a bad way. It's almost like I'm in that comforting hush, and so I'm just being absorbed into the fabric of it, and it's just very peaceful. So my heart wants nothing more. My intention is upon nothing but the joy of this comforting, peaceful absorption. Okay? and I can't care about anything else. Can't care about you and what you're doing in the scene because I'm being absorbed into the fabric of the Paa Taal, okay? I was like, I'm getting absorbed. See you later. I'm getting absorbed. I'm sorry, I can't get out of the absorption. I do care. I think that's part of the next phase of this. I'm kind of like in a river of just bliss. I'm going to project my consciousness to you because I can't. All right, I'm moving my mind. I'm moving my consciousness into your consciousness. And as you stand here, like I had stood there with the pale white, oh, that's so much better. I can actually be a participant again. You have no idea what you're getting yourself into here. I seem to know that. This is a major spiral space. And I feel that whatever your makeup, the material of your soul, based upon what it represents in the material of the universe, will guide you into the spiral of your own manifestation. And the fabric of your soul is part of the materialization of your own experience. But you're not entering in, and I'm starting to see more detail here, and I'm starting to pull myself out of the fabric of that spiral because it's so blissful and peaceful, and I'm pulling myself out. And I'm bringing myself right here, and it was like I was sleeping for a really long time, and now I'm waking up. And I see you and I standing next to each other, and there's a big black liquid, and it's beautiful. It's like it has this reflective ability, and you can see into it, almost like looking into a black hole, and you can see all of time in it. You can see all of flipping time in this. It's extraordinary beyond measure, and there's nothing twisted in here. I mean, we're looking at spirals, but there's nothing twisted. But there's nothing on that level. It's not to harm. It's to experience and discover. It's to be present with. I want to define it as to be present with all that you are. To be present with all that you are. But it's like a sacred space too, because let me just watch, because we're both like in awe right now, and on our human level, on our consciousness, where we just think about putting 5 hands into 5 cookie jars, and then we try to make sense of what that means against 1 cookie over the multitasking of 5. And this is like so much more profound than our human minds can wrap our heads around. But yet we're standing here and we're like, like jaw dropped, like, what are we even looking at? Oh my God, this is phenomenal and mind-blowing and beautiful, and I can't even relate to it, but yet I understand it. Okay. This is mesmerizing. It's happening again. You and I are literally looking into the spiral, and it's so pretty that we're getting like pulled into it without meaning to, and we're just getting pulled into it, and we're kind of like letting ourselves go. And Paa Taal reminds me that this is for healing purposes. You requested healing, Lush. You receive healing. What you want, you then receive. You receive it. So I'm going to say, I want healing too, Paa Taal. I'm in for this. And what you ask for, you receive. And that comes from my heart. It's not just, I think I want this. Like, I can tell vibrationally, this is profound and beautiful and genuine. And it is in itself of the heart. So when I say I want healing, I not only want healing, but I can't even conceive of what that even means, because what I'm communicating with is beyond comprehension. but I can feel the value of it as beautiful, as genuinely of the heart, beautiful, and no intention to harm, okay? Like the founders are about the cleaning, like the cleaning process is a comforting one and it is a painful one. Paa Taal is like, I don't feel pain here, not at this time, but I mean, anything that is healing is going to have a self-reflective moment, and that can be the pain of growth, you know what I mean? But the Paa Taal is not representing anything that hurts right now. So we're getting absorbed into this liquidy spiral of time in this Paa Taal space. We are actually, our fabrics are merging into one fabric. I don't know between you or me who we are. We're just one essence. Like we're being melded in with all the others that have come into this liquid energy space. We're all one body now. Like we're literally smushed in there and we're just kneaded into the dough. Like we were little pockets of our own dough and we just got kneaded into this big dough, okay? So we're kneaded into the dough of this. There's no care in the world about, oh, well, what made me unique and special was this, and now you just took that away from me. You know, it's not like some people are afraid of the concept of the oneness because they're afraid they're going to lose their identity of what makes them unique and special, which is the gift of being human, right? But this is completely, that is the human experience. This is the Paa Taal experience. We're fine being kneaded into the one dough. Like it's no big deal, and it's beautiful, and it's worth it to have this experience. It's worth it. It's like your unique drop of water goes in the ocean and now you're just the ocean. You're just one with the ocean. Is that really taking something away, or is that providing you with more than you can conceive of because you're used to being an individual? Here you get the joy of being part of something like the one dough. Okay, so we're in here. But what's beautiful is we're a collective mind, and we're what Paa Taal defines as a collective heart. So the heart of each and every one of our fabrics as souls are connected to create one soul. But the heart of our unique hearts and our unique memories and what we recall or what we have been or what our material is made out of, the substance of our essence, becomes part of the collective heart of this one dough. And then it's so freaking beautiful. I mean, it is so beautiful. And so we're all a part of a grand communication. And we're in the heart of Paa Taal right now. And Paa Taal is like this infinite fabric of the dark and the hush. I mean, it's this extraordinary, surreal presentation. Is it a being? Is it a place? Is it it's a phenomenon. It's like a something. I mean, it could be a place, because we're going in and we're becoming part of a collective heart of many other souls. And we love each other dearly. Like we love each other dearly, and we become the one soul. And it is like Paa Taal. This one soul is like Paa Taal, made up of so many collected souls of so much love. And the love was what was amplified. And we became the heart of a collective heart of communication of everything that we've ever been and never were, ever will be. And my guides say, well, what do you guys talk about in there? like, what do you talk about? Let me find out what conversations we have to share in this space. Is there any important purpose for Paa Taal? Is there any thing we are inquiring of each other and asking for each other's feedback? Or is there nothing to talk about? It feels like communication to me, heart-to-heart communication with a vast amount of hearts. All right, I want to ask you guys a question. If you see, there's cat people, there's dog people, there's lizard people, but people like baby animals, okay? And if you had a baby kitten or a baby dog, would you ever get bored of wanting to pet? I mean, obviously cats could bite or scratch, or dogs could pee on the ground and in your floor. Now you have to give them the tough talk or whatever. But for the most part, the joy of the interaction with a baby animal is so wonderful. It's like, it's just so healing for our hearts. We are like the best moments with your favorite baby animals. And we are just exchanging love for one another on and on and on. Like, I adore you, I adore you, I adore you. Oh, you're so cute, or you're so sweet. Like, it's like this constant, like, ding, 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 ding. We love all the best parts of each other. And we're just like kind of in love with one another. And it's just, there's no real conversation other than love is shared constantly. Love is shared, just constantly, like ding, 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 ding. Like, love is constantly shared, and we're part of the love that is given and received, and we just become more exponentially full of love. It's so beautiful. There's no sensation of ever getting bored of this, and it's infinite time. Okay, you can leave this space whenever you want. You're not forced to stay here. And you're not lost here. Like, you're not going to lose yourself and forget who you are in here, even if we are one body. But I'm going to give this a try. I'm going to test it, okay? Because I want to see if Paa Taal gets possessive of the souls that merge with this liquid. I'm going to leave it now. We're already standing outside of the liquid, you and I both are. And we're both like, we just got like kissed by this weird place all over our souls. It was wonderful. Like, we're all in love with each other. It was so wonderful. It's like, oh, you're such a cute kitty poop. Oh, you puppy. Ooh, so cute. So it's just like this constant like adorableness and like love of one another. It was wonderful. I feel so happy inside. I feel beautiful inside. I feel beautiful inside. And see how you feel. You're kind of without words right now. Like, you need time to explore what that means, because it's like it gives you the freedom to understand what genuine love and exchanges of love are. It gives you the freedom to really, it's like creating an awareness with your mind that is precious, with your human self, that you needed it to be risen up to the surface of your mind. Not just a thought, not just a knowing, like, of course we're all one. It's like an imprint, an epiphany that cannot be denied, because you became one with it. It's like looking at pictures in a book of what this place looks like, you know, and it's like literally like looking at the northern lights in a photograph and then witnessing them for yourself. You can't fathom what that experience is like until you actually witness it for yourself. So there's a major difference between the mind's perception of, oh, that looks pretty. Then when you're actually there, like, oh my God, I'm actually in this beautiful space. It's way more beautiful than any photograph could ever do it justice. And so this is kind of one of those things where I can imagine it and it sounds great, but now I've actually been a part of it. I've actually done more than just witness it. I've become one with it. Like, I feel like I understand something more about love and my soul in my human body than I was able to access it before because of this. But Paa Taal did something more than that, because I feel like a seed was planted that is going to help guide us in ways that our minds can't understand. Our minds, it's like Paa Taal is showing us how our minds are devoted to ideas that help us to comprehend how we are trying to grow with, I guess, concepts of wisdom to help us feel more enlightened, more of the spirit within our bodies. But the seed that is planted is like unimaginably beyond what the human the book of the human, or the materialism of the materializations that the human race could conceive of. And that it's almost like, imagine if we could say we live in between the human world and the spirit realm, but what if there was another realm that was outside of our comprehension of dimensional spaces? What if there was an anomaly, like these are all the colors of the rainbow, but there's something that is so unique in and of itself that is inconceivable to our mind, and it could be like an extraordinary new color that we would never fathom it. We could not fathom it, because as human beings, we just aren't designed to fathom it, okay? This seed is to help guide us in our life to be able to conceptually fathom something that is unfathomable, okay? And in the process, it's about the love, the continual sound of adoration of one another is like a building block to this incomprehensible gift that Paa Taal has bestowed upon us. And bestowed upon us all, because this isn't for just Lush and myself. We're all a part of this. This is a YouTube video that we have access to for a reason, right? We have access to this information for a reason, so you guys can be a participant in this too. This is all of us growing together. This is a gift, you know? I feel like all right, I tell Paa Taal I'm going to start looking at some other images, but I feel like as I look at these images, they're not going to come genuinely close to what I just experienced in this liquid. But okay, so one of the images that came to me was you, Lush, go visit somebody who works with what is like creating a psychologically altered experience, where you are pulled from your practical human day-to-day thinking and pulled out of that into a surreal psychological state of perception. And in that surreal psychological state of perception, you are able to access something you couldn't conceive of without the support of that, okay? So I see there's a woman, and she's Egyptian. She represents somebody who's Egyptian, but she's also quite tribal, and she seems quite independent in and of herself. But she's mixing some kind of concoction, and it's old school, man. It's like straight up in a little wooden bowl with a little, like, it's straight up being mixed in this old school way. And it's like an old recipe. And you are being guided through this alternate, psychologically altered state. You're being guided with love and support, and it's almost like her soul leaves her body and goes and guides you through the astral, through some sort of surreal experience, and helps guide you back into your body where you can remember and recall the events. And she's been training her whole life to do this. I'm literally being shown this, whether this is real or an idea to help us understand what it is to bring in the Paa Taal experience into our human reality. It's like you go to an altered state of your psychology and then have the gift of being able to remember it. And I see this scene very vividly, okay? And it's very colorful and beautiful and therapeutic and supportive and genuine. Everything is about the genuine love, okay? A genuine love is a therapy for all of our souls here as human beings. Paa Taal is not, one way or another, is not about cross sections of the human race and people's behaviors and the way the world needs. It's not like the founders seem to be a part of time and the support of clearing out the illusions to help us enter into the next, the closest thing to reality that we are capable of accessing, and then closer and then closer and closer. So the founders are here to help us live in reality. Paa Taal is like, if you want to go there, go there. But Paa Taal doesn't seem to be necessarily like, it's a totally neutral about this human thing. It's about love. If you want to come into the heart of the Paa Taal, you're going to experience love, and whatever you do with that is your choice. Has nothing to do with anything kind of society or human. It's very much, it's your choice what you want to do with the love that you experience in this special space. It's very much like that. Let me see what one of these. Okay, so what's interesting is I see a mirror, okay, and it's a little glass mirror, and you're opening it, and you're going through a dark doorway on the other side of this mirror, and it's like a bathroom cabinet mirror. And I see you going through the darkness, and you're looking for something. And I laugh, and I say, what could you possibly be looking for that isn't already looking at you? Why don't you just sit still and let it come to you? I don't know why I find it funny, but I know this is a little bit derailing because you're kind of listening to me and you're like, no, I want to go find it when I'm ready. I don't want it to find me when it, I don't want that. I don't like that, the sound of that. And like you're really controlling of your own growth and development here. You stop being so controlling. You're saying you want this, but you're not letting this come to you. You say, because I don't know what it is. It's like, do you really want the thing that's looking at you to come to you if you can't even conceive of what it is that's looking at you? I'd rather find it, and as I slowly but surely crawl my way towards whatever that is I'm looking for, then I'll be ready to see it. It's like biding your time, because you really struggle with the shock effect. You don't want to get like the baby bird that falls out of the tree. You want to be cautious and careful with each step that you take. This mirror and going through this dark doorway is actually you ready to, it's almost like you could say rewire your framework, experience an awakening, face your own inner demons, is something like this. But it has to be derailing in order for it to have the wake-up call effect. But let me just watch this, because Paa Taal is showing us this for a reason, okay? This is coming through. Like, we're still standing by the liquid that's circulating, okay? And we're just in the Paa Taal space right now, but there's a reason why this is showing up in here. Okay. I don't know why. I just take the mirror and I take the image of you crawling through it, and I take the concept of something that's looking at you, but you're acting like you're trying to find it. Just let it come to you, and you're like, no, it's too much. It's too scary. I'm not ready. And it's like, so then why are you looking for it? Anyway, I take all of that and I put it into the liquid of Paa Taal, because everything is going to be comforted by the love, and everything will be the heart of itself. And once everything is the heart of itself, there's no threat. There are no threats. This is interesting, because I take what is a fear and I put the fear into the liquid, into Paa Taal. This is interesting, because Paa Taal represents pure love, and this fear represents something. What is the material? Paa Taal is talking to us about what is the material of fear, and what is the material of love, and how does the material of love create the fabric of the universe? How do the souls create the fabric of the universe? But how is the fear inside create the fabric of the universe as well? So Paa Taal is showing me that when I bring the fear, which is a material as well, inside of this circulating liquid, it's like it's not absorbed. It's let me just watch, okay? It's like it never happened. It's like no matter how badly I want it to go in there, it just doesn't go in there. It's like rejected, because I find myself back where I started, back where I started, back where I started. But let me try this again. I really want to pay attention where I'm not talking. Okay, Paa Taal says to go with the fear and go with you with the fear. And we're asking, actually, we're receiving support from all the hearts that are in here. And we're asking them for support. It's almost like people haven't brought their their fears into Paa Taal for a very long time. But Paa Taal is capable of, that's why I keep going back, because any fabric that is within us that is scared, when we bring it into this liquid of Paa Taal, we are supported by so many infinite hearts, so many infinite souls, the fabric of pure love, that we don't feel fear anymore. So the material doesn't represent what it had, it just materializes into love. And Paa Taal is like, but is that correct? Because it's like, I'm really studying this here. Touching it takes a long time, because this fear fabric is withdrawing and separating, finding some way to separate from this spiral of love. It's finding some way to try to not merge with it, because it's identified itself as not it, not love. Fear has decided that it is not love. And I say, but then it's not adorable, it's like ugly or something. Like I'm looking at cute kittens and the heart exchanges and the adorableness, and then this fabric has decided that it is something that is not warm and fuzzy or cute. What happens with these materials? Because they're kind of becoming like a neutral material, but it's like a sleep. It's in a sleep state. Paa Taal wants to start at the beginning. I'm pulling you in, Lush, from this scene with the mirror and walking through the doorway and the thing that's looking at you, and all of this related to fear and resistance. And I'm pulling it into Paa Taal's circulating liquid, okay? And I'm starting to see that you instantly join with the hearts, and the love is circulating in the joy. Oh my God, it's so great. I'm gonna get sucked into the bliss. It's gonna happen. Okay, I'm gonna be insane. But I see that some of these frameworks are like material, just energy material, that kind of like veer off to the edges or the sides, and they collect as neutral sleeping materials. They're just sleeping. And that's what happens. But let me see, when you leave this spiral, does the sleeping material come back to you? Is something you need to work on, or does it stay there, or what happens to it? Okay. It's completely undecided right now. As in, it's almost like it's in your hands. Because as soon as you go back to face that mirror, you have to decide what your fear is and what your safety is. If you were to explore that while you're in the heart of Paa Taal, you would see that there's nothing to be afraid of. But if you were to explore that outside as your own individual self, you would find yourself returning to the same insecurity. So you're going to have to develop what can only be described as a new belief system, that you're always within the heart of Paa Taal, if that's what makes you feel stronger in and of yourself. Or you can just know that you are strong in and of yourself, and that it is safe to face anything and for anything to face you. And all it is simply an interaction, an exchange, and you can pull it into your heart and create your own Paa Taal within your own heart space. And Paa Taal is talking about chaos and how love neutralizes chaos, and how chaos then goes to sleep. And so when we stop being afraid, we actually create a neutralization of chaos. And Paa Taal is asking us to think about, explore what that means to us when it comes back to day-to-day life on Earth, for instance. If you continue to be the heart of Paa Taal, for instance, like through your day-to-day expression, and you just focus on the love, and you feel strong in the love within yourself, you become your own Paa Taal, and there's nothing really to attach to you. It becomes neutralized and then sleeping. It sleeps. So to take that with you, Lush, in any of your adventures for facing inner demons or awakening yourself, anything that make you uncomfortable or nervous in the process, Paa Taal wants you to reflect on what that means to you when it comes to that exploration, okay? All right, that's all I can share. I feel like there's so much, like, I really want to emphasize to help you guys understand anything that is chaos can sleep when we choose to feel strong in the light within ourselves. When we're not afraid of what's out there because we feel the Paa Taal light and the bliss and the adorableness and the love that we are, the truth of what we are, then the chaos just, it's almost like it finds it harmonious, it puts it to sleep, but it doesn't necessarily feel that maybe that it is it. But you see how we can alter the energetic patterns that are on our planet right now. We can alter the energetic patterns by being the light that we are and to not be afraid of anything. Because there's nothing to be afraid of, because anything that is a fear is literally just this fabric that is easily neutralized and put to sleep when we are truly, genuinely full of light, the light that we actually are. So now it goes way beyond cookie jars and gets to the heart, gets to something deeper than our minds, gets to the heart. All right. Thank you. I love this so much. Thank you, Lush. Thank you, everybody, for watching. Have a phenomenal rest of your day. Have a phenomenal weekend. Bye for now.